Omega Star Wars News back again with another major Star Wars news update. Today, I've got insider information coming right from Lucasfilm that Mace Windu is about to get his own show. Now, here is my understanding of these events. After he fell out of the window during Revenge of the Sith, he didn't actually die. Now, there is a precedent for this. We look at Darth Maul. He's cut in half and thrown down a pit. He survives. Palpatine, thrown down a pit. He survives. We got even Boba Fett. Falls down a pit, gets eaten by the Sarlacc. He survives. So there is a good precedent to Jedi and other Force users, and even not Force users, to survive in the universe, even if they end up taking a little spill down a hill. And it seems Mace Windu is part of that camp. Now, we understand from rumors that George Lucas is working closely with actually executive producer Samuel L. Jackson to create this show, and it's supposed to come out in 2021 or 2022. And this is interesting because Mace Windu as a character is somebody who a lot of fans really enjoy, and my understanding is this is going to be more of an action show where Mace Windu is kind of undercover. He's kind of a secret Jedi. It's going to take place between episodes 6 and 7, around the time of The Mandalorian, so we might see things like Baby Yoda and Mandalorian show up, which is a very interesting idea. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, how this will play into that. Will we see Ahsoka Tano in the show? And just kind of what Mace Windu's going to do and how Sam Jackson's going to play it. There's going to be rumors that basically he's his own like little solo. He's kind of got a spy thing going on, which is really fascinating to me, seeing as he's apparently killed in a previous movie, and having this character kind of come back. There's a precedent for fan favorite characters to come back. It's really just up to the fans who's alive and dead in Star Wars. So it's interesting to see Dave Filoni and George Lucas and Samuel Jackson coming together to do this. And of course, Jon Favreau is going to help them develop it, but it sounds like they're going to get their own outside showrunner. And my understanding is it's going to be Steven Spielberg, who's actually been a very vocal fan of Mace Windu ever since Attack of the Clones. He said that basically Mace Windu is his favorite Jedi, and he sees a lot of potential to kind of do it his way. You know, he wants to kind of make this TV show like it's supposed to kind of be like, say, Back to the Future meets Schindler's List. So it's going to be really fascinating to see what happens with Sam Jackson in this movie. Will he be put in like a camp? Because the Schindler's List comparison is actually pretty weird to me. If any of the kids out there haven't seen Schindler's List, I really recommend the movie. It's one of Steven Spielberg's best projects. So it'd be interesting to see how this film kind of relates to Schindler's List, how it relates to other things. Will we see cameos from things like E.T. in there? Because as we know, E.T. is in the Star Wars universe. We actually see a cameo of them in Episode 1. So will we see kind of like some E.T. elements? Will we see symbolism to Star Wars? And as we all know, Star Wars is an allegory for World War II originally. So making this Mace Windu show based on the Schindler's List makes a lot of sense, actually, basing it around the events of the Holocaust. It's going to be very interesting, very weird, very different from anything we've ever seen. So I'm excited to see Steven Spielberg. I know he's back on television with like the Animaniacs show, so it makes perfect sense to put him on this Disney Plus show. Kind of give him something to do, reunite with George Lucas, who of course he did the Indiana Jones films with. And to have Jon Favreau in the mix, who has actually done a lot of great things for Disney lately, like not only The Mandalorian, but also the Lion King remake. It sounds like a fantastic idea to me, and with Samuel L. Jackson as an executive producer, I see a lot of potential. Of course, Kathleen Kennedy's outraged about this. She never liked the Schindler's List as a movie, and she kind of thinks like Samuel L. Jackson's kind of outdated as an actor. She's not a big fan of Samuel L. Jackson, not a big fan of Mace Windu. She prefers characters like Rey. Like, I know she kind of pitched a show based on like Rey Skywalker and what she's done after what we see in episode 9. But Daisy Ridley doesn't want to come back. Samuel Jackson's ready to come back. He works closely with Disney hand in hand. with things like his interpretation of Nick Fury in the Avengers. So it's going to be truly fascinating to see how this relates to not only George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and Jon Favreau. Taika Waititi's in talks to do the show as well, with directing duties, and kind of how they're going to relate this to Schindler's List of all movies. This is going to be much like how Rogue One was the Saving Private Ryan of Star Wars. This is supposed to be the Schindler's List of Star Wars. So Dave Filoni is kind of taking a lot of different approaches, and Steven Spielberg definitely has a big influence on the galaxy far, far away. He's good friends with George Lucas. Francis Ford Coppola is going to direct an episode of this, who of course directed The Godfather. So I feel like this is actually just going to be a very good movie, or a television show. I apologize. Of course, Taika Waititi, Bob Iger's very excited. Kathleen Kennedy, of course, is outraged, but that's to be understood because she's not getting what she wants. And as you know, Kathleen Kennedy tends to throw a lot of fits at Star Wars. She actually just recently said she wanted George Lucas out of Star Wars forever, and that Star Wars is her universe. She's made a bigger impact than George Lucas, so she's really insulting the fans. She's insulting George Lucas, and let's get her out of Star Wars. That's my opinion. So this Next Generation Samuel Jackson TV show, it's going to be crazy. Star Wars forever. May the Force be with you always.